Coming up on District Talk, D.C. Mayor Vincent Gray was arrested along with other members of City Council last night after protesting the city budget on Capitol Hill. Was it a good political move? We'll dive into that issue and more. And D.C. is a place that has always had a rich Latino culture, but new census numbers confirm that things are changing for many in the district. Stay tuned for more on that, including an exclusive interview. In American University, it's planning to get bigger, but neighbors are fighting back. We have an exclusive interview with an AU official. That's all coming up next on District Talk. Welcome to District Talk. I'm your host, Dan Marica. Capitol Police arrested D.C. Mayor Vincent Gray last night while he was protesting on Capitol Hill. Gray was charged with unlawful assembly for obstructing traffic on Constitution Avenue. He and other D.C. council members were protesting restrictions by Congress on the D.C. spending for abortions and needle exchange. Here's what the mayor had to say before he got taken away.
Being a pawn in a political game. You know, last time I looked, we pay our taxes just like anybody else does. $3.6 billion in federal taxes.
Though Washington residents elect their own local government, the district budget is controlled directly by Congress. It has been reported that President Obama allowed Republicans to keep the D.C. abortion rider on the budget in order to keep federal government open last Friday. After his arrest, Gray said it was time D.C. representatives take a stand on this issue. For more on this issue, I'm here with Maudine Cooper, president of the Greater Washington Urban League. Maudine, thank you very, very much for being here. It's an honor to meet you.
Thank you.
So let's get to the first things first. You know, it seems like it was somewhat of a political stunt to sit down in the middle of Constitution Avenue and get arrested. What do you think?
Most politics consist of one stunt after the other. That's how you get the electorate's attention. But this was a stunt that was meaningful. A lot of particularly young people like yourself don't remember the civil rights movement. You weren't there when people were indeed marching peacefully, the days of Martin Luther King. Many of you weren't even born when Dr. King was alive. So the point is that this is what we did. We had peaceful protests.
But this isn't the first time that D.C. has clashed with the federal government over abortion funding, needle exchange, school vouchers, all that are issues right now. How do you see this playing out? As a former chief of staff to Marion Barry, let me know, how do you see this playing out?
Well, until we get the whole city involved, a larger number is needed to get the attention of the Congress. In addition, we need to get the attention of the cities or jurisdictions where these congressmen come from, to say to them, look, you sent this person to Washington, D.C. to look out for your interests, to get out of, as the kids say, get out of our Kool-Aid here. I mean, D.C., we pay taxes, as the mayor has said. We do everything that every other jurisdiction does, but we don't have autonomy. We don't get the right to vote.
So let's talk big picture now. Since taking office, Gray has definitely needed a bump in his approval ratings. He's been marred in scandals since taking office. You know, let's take those approval ratings we have. 40% of Washingtonians have a negative view of the mayor currently, and 31% have a positive view. This is from New Claris numbers. Additionally, the biggest numbers Gray might have to worry about is that his base is slipping away, and that comes in the form of wards 5, 6, 7, and 8. Only 42% of those voters say they approve of the mayor, as you can see on the graphic up there. Now, tell me the truth, what does this mean for Gray going forward if his base is truly slipping?
Well, bumps happen day to day, and politics happens day to day. If Gray can sort all these negative issues out, then he'll be fine. I saw another newscaster was talking about what he had found when he'd gone out and done a survey just on the street, the man on the street talking. He said he found that so many people were confused. They didn't know what the SUV business was about versus Gray. They thought he'd done that too. So all the negatives that came out politically were dumped in his lap. There's a lot of that kind of ignorance out here. So we need to clarify that.
Well, let's go to D.C. voters on the street because I spoke to a number of voters, and I'm sure you know D.C. voters are not shy about their opinions of Vincent Gray. You know, I went down to Anacostia, and this is what a few of those voters had to say. Let's take that soundbite.
I think some people probably feel that they were, what would you say, bamboozled? Yeah.
And for a scandal to come up on the mayor that we just elected, it just tells me we're back in politics as usual.
one main thing is that they don't feel they're representative in Gray's cabinet. How do you respond to that? Do you think Ward 8 is represented by Vincent Gray?
Well, unfortunately, I don't know, one, where all the cabinet members come from, what ward. I do know that many of them come from out of town, so I don't know where they're moving to. But in addition, he hasn't finished yet. You know, he's still getting his cabinet members, the appointments, getting the cabinet members appointed. There's no head of the Department of Housing, a very important appointment. They just confirmed Kaya Henderson. So a lot of times we need to step back a little bit. And this is not the first 100 days. Normally politicians are measured on the first 100 days. This man was measured day one, which I think is a little unfair.
But at the same time, from day one, he had a number of controversies in terms of hiring, in terms of the people he chose, decisions people he chose made.
Absolutely.
And that has definitely affected the way he's being judged by
but
voters.
I think some of these individuals who are complaining need to give the man a chance.
Okay, but how does he get those voters back? If there are people in Anacostia, Ward 7, all over D.C., who don't like what this man is doing now, what does he have to do to get them back?
Well, one, he has to listen to them, which I think he's doing with town hall meetings, with going into various communities. He's doing a lot of that. As a matter of fact, I don't know how he manages to do that, and still keep his strength up, but he's doing a lot of that. In addition, he also has to listen and take that information back to individuals and get their opinions. I mean, this is not an easy job. I would not understand. I worked for a mayor, and I don't understand how people want that position. I mean, it's horrible. You in approximately 68 square miles, everybody knows your name. Everybody knows where you live. They know the entrance and the exits to the district building. You can't get away from your constituents. And so the point is that he is under a lot of pressure because he's got his individual voters and he's got the Congress, 435 and 100. That's 535 telling him when they wake up in the morning what they want to do.
Just quickly, Greater Washington Urban League is doing a lot to try and bring D.C. together. Vincent Gray moved to bring the one city together. What is Greater Washington Urban League trying to do to bring the city together?
Well, coming off of his mantra, if you will, one city, we have, at our dinner, we had a theme of you, me, we, D.C., meaning it's not your responsibility, it's our responsibility. The city, unfortunately, has become very divided. And that's something that, in my lifetime as civil rights and social services, I thought we would not see. The city is so divided, and you can see it. You can see blacks and whites not walking, talking together. You can see other ethnic groups not working together. It's time for us to come together.
And we will definitely continue to watch that. Maureen Cooper of the Greater Washington Urban League, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you very much.
Enjoyed it very much.
Coming up after the break, Latinos in the district. New census numbers confirm that things are changing for the Latino community. Stay tuned for more, including an exclusive interview. And then, Virginia was a key battleground state in the last presidential race, and pundits say that will continue for Virginia's upcoming Senate race in 2012. We'll have the latest from the Commonwealth after the break.